You are listening to the Weekly Thoughts podcast, hosted by Rahul Shenoy, Avni Shastana, and Rahul Sampa. Spawned after our late night conversations, we'll be discussing our perspectives on current topics, trends, issues, and more.
Okay, so what do you guys think about the whole situation in Lebanon?
I think it's pretty unfortunate that a mistake like that was made, and I think the exact what happened was there was a lot of ammonium nitrate in one area, in an area that it wasn't supposed to be. And I'm pretty sure the government asked them to move it from there, but then it never got moved. Just I don't know what the company was doing, but they didn't move it. I think, yeah, they came out with the exact specifications on CNN. I can share that. Give me a second.
Yeah, let's see it.
Right here. So it was bought for mining, is what they said.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you guys want to see exactly how it looks pretty bad.
Scroll down, see if they have before and after pics.
I don't think
Wait,
they have it on this one. They probably have it on another website. But I mean, for now, this is what it looks like. That's devastating.
Yeah, everything's just kind of
Oh my God.
If you think about it, that seaport that you saw right there is crucial to Lebanon's economy.
Yeah.
It is? Oh.
They bring in a lot of stuff.
A lot of their economy runs on that seaport with trade and stuff. So
I heard there are protests going on now. About this. I think they're mad about either the company or the government.
yeah, I think it was maybe a combination of both, because I also heard that the Lebanese government really aren't doing that much for reparations and all that, and the costs associated with they're not doing as much as they should be, considering the scale of this entire explosion. It destroyed over 70% of their capital, Beirut, and it literally displaced thousands of people and killed over 1,000 people.
It says confirmed 150 dead in the website that Rahul pulled up. Just saying. Just saying.
Watch this video.
Yeah. Is this after it?
Yeah.
You'd think that only 150 dead, confirmed.
I think there's more than that.
Yeah,
I do think there's more than that.
Wow.
150 people dead, yeah. Rahul.
More than 150 people dead.
Okay, fine, but that doesn't mean 1,000.
You never know.
Tore through the city. Okay, it injured thousands though.
Okay.
Hundreds of thousands displaced. Okay.
So I was just one place number off.
Where do you think all those people go?
I'm sure
that's the problem.
They're probably
so much of the city is just destroyed, so they don't really know where to go.
Maybe it's the other 30%.
Oh, here's the before and after you were looking for, Rahul.
It's actually crazy. That's one of the most important spots.
That is the. Have you guys seen the videos of the street view of when?
Yeah, I saw this one girl was getting married, and then all of a sudden you could see there was a delay, and then all of a sudden the shockwave just comes, and all of them are panicking, running around, things shattering.
Yeah, it's interesting because you know how speed of light's way too fast.
Yeah.
Faster than the speed of sound. So you see the explosion first, and then you get hit by the shockwave.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a clear video of that on some guy who's on a jet ski, I think, on the seaport, and then all of a sudden he saw the explosion, and then when he was on the jet ski, he looked behind, yelled at his wife, and he's like, get down, get down, get down, and then a second or two later, boom, you just see the shockwave explode, it's moving so fast.
Do you guys think that this is now I know it's not nearly as close, but do you guys think this is Lebanon's 9/11 almost? Would you say it's as devastating?
I wouldn't say it's a 9/11 because I mean
I know it's not a terrorist attack, but it still causes as much damage.
I think 9/11 there were thousands dead though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we shouldn't really compare it because I mean it's two different events. Both of them obviously had a bunch of fatalities, and I feel like both of them were different scenarios.
Yeah.
The one with Lebanon definitely was not a terrorist attack,
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think that 9/11 was more of it was specifically designed to hurt like American citizens, like in their heart, at
Yeah.
least. And then this was more of a careless mistake. I can see what you're saying. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like this definitely could have been prevented, obviously, if like the seaport officials, or like if people like the Lebanese government listened to the seaport officials about properly facilitating the shipment, like cargo and stuff.
I mean,
But
I
like,
think
I don't
what had
know.
happened is that the company that was bringing in that ammonium nitrate, I think
Yeah.
they just refused to move it, and I think the Lebanese government didn't step in when they needed to. I think that's what happened.
Okay, yeah, because I know the protests were angry at the government.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, I read it. I was reading it just now, and they were
Because right here in the article, it says that they left it in the port for like 7 years.
7 years,
like,
I
2013.
remember a different article said 2013, which is 7 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I guess that makes sense. I feel like the people of Lebanon are like angry at their government for like the actions they took like prior to the explosion and then now like after. Because I also heard that like a lot of the organizations like with funds and stuff, a lot of them are like fake, and like most of the money that's being like donated to those like charities and stuff, like apart from like the Red Cross, are like being taken by the Lebanese government and like used for their own personal gains rather than like helping out and with like rebuilding and like helping out people who are displaced or injured and all that.
that
Yeah.
might also be a reason for the protests.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Again, it's a shame that this all had to happen now in 2020, when COVID is still a thing.
I know. I mean, I'm telling you, 2020 just can't catch a break. Every single month, there's always something.
Yeah, I think July was pretty calm. Like each month there was some, yeah, and July was calm,
I
and then
thought July was when they started bringing up like murder hornets. Or was that April?
that was way earlier.
That was way earlier. Okay.
Well, yeah, I don't think anything happened in July.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
When we
think.
catch a break.
Yeah, and then August just starts off like that. Dude, I think like New Year's Eve, it's 11:59, and a meteor's just gonna hit Earth, and we're never gonna get to 2021.
It's gonna be 12:01, and they'll just say like part 2 2020.
You've seen the TikToks too. You've seen the
Yeah. Okay. All right. What do you guys think about the Air India Express crash?
Honestly, looking at the news recently, I think it's crazy because I heard this was one of India's worst passenger air crash in nearly a decade, and like it's crazy because most of the people like survive. So it being like one of the deadliest air crash in already a decade, killing like not even everybody on board. Like that, honestly, that's definitely impactful.
total of 18 people died, including 2 pilots, 4 children.
And that's what
Yeah.
they know
Yeah,
like so far.
Even the pilots died. Is what CNN says.
So
Yeah, both the pilots.
am I understanding this right? It skidded off the runway and then just fell?
Yeah, so one thing about like I don't know if you guys have ever been to the airport in Kerala where the plane skidded off the runway, but I have. So the thing is, the runway at like both ends of the runway, there's like a really steep kind of uh, like slope. So the thing is, like when the plane skidded off the runway, it landed about like 35 to 40 feet, and because of that, like apparently the plane landed 1,000 meters like beyond the threshold of the runway, and then that's when it skidded off, and then like it slid downwards into a ditch because it's like towards
Jeez.
the end of the runway, the slopes more downhill. If you've ever been to that airport.
I'm not like a pilot master or anything, but shouldn't runways be like flat, like along with the area around the runway, just so that like if something happens, you're not falling down?
That's true, but I mean, you also got to look at like
Hill, like that's
I think they
because
just
there's
didn't have the budget to take care of it, which is unfortunate.
I know I don't even think it's the budget. I think you just have to look at like the area, like where the
terrain
runway is, like
area.
the landscapes. Because like if you look at it, there's so many dangerous airports around the world, like especially in Nepal. Like just landing into like Kathmandu airport, that itself is kind of dangerous compared to maybe landing in like Kansas or something. I think like a big part of it's also like where the runway is like located. Because I think Kerala's place with a lot of hills and places like that where like slopes are pretty common.
Oh,
So I feel like for that, but the thing is, that's who knows. Maybe there's like ways they could improve it, but yeah, it's crazy because it's been like a challenge for like air crew to land at that runway because there's been so many difficult landings because of those steep drops on both ends.
yeah. One of the victims had tested positive for coronavirus. How are they even allowed on this flight?
I don't think
Wait,
they.
so they were like diagnosed prior to going on the plane or what?
Just on CNN, it says, and I quote, one of the victims has tested positive for coronavirus, according to Kerala's chief minister. The plane was one of the rep- repatriation flights operated by the Indian government to bring back nationals stranded abroad due to COVID-19 travel restrictions.
Oh, okay, I see. So I'm guessing that they found out he had corona probably after, you know. So since we just talked about like the passengers like traveling due to like COVID's like them being stranded due to COVID regulations, what do you guys think about like people just generally traveling during like COVID, like despite like all of these strict regulations being placed to social distance, wear like all these protective gear and all that stuff?
I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the regulations are as far as safety. Like if they have like empty seats, like every other seat is empty, or everyone just has to wear a mask. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but I know like a lot of my friends and a lot of like celebrities are still traveling on commercial, and I think that's just a little bit scary for me personally. Like I wouldn't want to travel now, just
Yeah.
because if just in case the guy next to me is a carrier, then like even with a mask, I think it's like what 1%. If both of you are wearing a mask, it's 1%.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
true. And like also like a bunch of the airlines that I know, like maybe besides Southwest, from what I know, a bunch of the airlines don't do like that middle seat like partition. So like they'll still have somebody like be seated in that seat. So like
really.
I feel like yeah. So I feel like that definitely goes against social distancing. But I don't know why they're not legally like being forced to enforce that.
Yeah.
But
And just to clarify, when I said 1%, I meant like 1% of contracting COVID.
Yeah,
yeah.
1%. Yeah, we got you. Yeah, no, I see like high school, like literally high school students going to Florida and stuff, and it's not for like important reasons. Like they'll go to like I don't know, hang out with their uncle or
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I see a bunch of like beach photos, and they're in Florida, but they live in Colorado. So I'll be
yeah.
Yeah, like
they
literally that's
definitely they
like the
definitely flew
worst
over there.
state.
So
I'm like, how do your parents even let you do that?
Yeah.
it's not even your parents. I mean, just generally, like I
Like,
don't
yeah,
know.
why would you do that?
I
Isn't
and I can
really bad right now?
I
With
just don't think it's worth the chance of contracting COVID.
yeah, it
yeah, but
really
I think like it's not only kids. There's so many like people that are like starting to travel, like whether it be adults, you know, or just
is
regular people who are like also traveling like with their kids or without, you know, like I think a lot of people have started to like as like our summer ends, I think a lot of people are like, I kind of like have given up like staying at home. So like last minute they're like, let me go somewhere and like let me explore this place or something. Just kind of
I
like
think, yeah, I think that's the thing with like nationwide pandemics or global pandemics in this case. I think that's the thing with that is like people will at a certain point in time people will say like I need to go outside more, or they'll
yeah,
stop like quarantining themselves just because they're tired of sitting at home.
mhm. Yeah, like if you've been to like many of the public places, like if you looked at them like a month or two ago, they were literally kind of like that entire cities were like ghost towns, but now like they're just like normal back again. Like I literally just went like drove to downtown Denver and just like driving past those places, there's like people walking like all over like the crosswalks, like the 16th Street Mall, like all those places. It's just like crazy.
I think
yeah.
I
I
think
think
it's
people
just a
are
matter
starting
of
to like
time before everybody goes back to normal. It's really about like how long you can last in quarantine. Like some people couldn't go like a month and they would just start going out. And then like people like us, we could probably go for like another month or two, or even maybe a little more. But
But
at
I
one
think, you
point we're
know,
all just
summer
gonna
starts for us. It's gonna be like, I
yeah.
mean, are we really going to be doing that often? Like we
Yeah,
gotta,
at this point, people are just rolling the dice. I think
Yeah.
like everyone just chilled out about this.
yeah. And I think like Corona might end after a majority of the population gets it. I think that's
Yeah.
when it's going to end.
There was
A
this
lot of people are
one.
going to be like immune to it, like at that point. So I think that's when they can come up with like a formidable vaccine that will actually be effective, like used throughout the world.
I think there's this one article, or I think it was an interview. Sorry, it was an interview with a doctor saying that at one point everyone has to get COVID at some point.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I remember my doctor also saying the exact same thing to me because I remember asking him, so
At
how
some
long?
point everybody has to get COVID, which is scary because like, what's the point in just delaying the inevitable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you do want to flatten the curve. You don't want to overload the
Yeah,
hospital.
obviously, I know that what the purpose is behind flattening the curve so that the hospitals don't get overfilled and all that. But it's just scary to know that like what the purpose is behind like staying at home and quarantining. It's not to not get the disease, it's to help the hospitals, which is I don't know.
Yeah, basically just stopping the spread to other people because I mean at that point that's what's happening, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I at this point it's so hard to enforce because literally I feel like now life's literally back to normal, except
yeah,
like the regulations being placed, like social distancing and stuff. Like even
yeah,
then, people who are already hanging out and all that, like they're not even strictly following that, you know. I'm like, I'm not saying that I don't like I follow like all those rules and stuff. At some point, it just becomes like a daily routine, kind of, just get living with it, living with these like social distancing measures or something, or
yeah.
just
It's
like,
so weird because now I'll keep a mask in my car. I'll keep a mask like in my pocket. Like wherever I'm going, I'll carry a mask. And I never used to do that before.
I see like a lot of people like hanging them on like their car mirrors, just so
Yeah.
they never forget or like misplace them. Like that's what I started doing now. And like speaking of masks, there's one in my pocket right now. So
Yeah, I really have like three in my pocket from forgetting that I put the other two in my pocket.
That's actually really funny.